Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm Tiffany, and you probably hear some fussing down below. I would show you the Beables, but because he is a foster child, it is not legal to actually break their confidentiality and their privacy. So I will not be showing you any pictures on social media at this time. Maybe I was thinking about having like a private Facebook group where you can share such photos if you keep it in, in-house amongst friends. So if you guys are interested in, maybe us starting a Facebook group so we can talk and maybe share pictures and share advice and you kind of like network, let me know and I'll start a group. Otherwise, as you see with the title, guess who has placement? This girl here. Let me first start by saying, I don't know if I said hey to y'all. If I didn't, hey, and welcome to the new folks. The last video I posted was about the nursery. That video was filmed 2 months ago, 2 whole months ago. And basically after the nursery was done, the baby came and I have not had time to film. So basically this is a catch you up, if you will, type of a video about the placement and what happened up to that point. So let me start by saying first, I initiated my home study licensing process on April 13th, 2020. My home was totally approved. I had done all my courses, I had done all my orientations, trainings, all that stuff. My home was licensed on May 28th. So basically about 6 weeks it took me from start to end to get licensed. And my agency says I was the quickest foster adopt parent license process they had ever had. And truly, I was shocked and surprised myself that it happened so quick. I started, mid-April and I was done at the end of May. And I think with the pandemic, everything was kind of an easier, quicker fix because one, I did my orientation online. I did my home assessment when they came through the house, to make sure everything's up to code and everything online. The trainings, actually, I didn't have to do because I was given credit basically for being a CPS social worker. I was able to produce basically some of my certificates that showed, hey, I've done some of these courses already. Can we use those? The answer was yes. If the answer was no, I would have done those online like some of the other parents who are currently doing them with the agency. And it just honestly, everything went by quick, the interviews and everything. So I was licensed on the 28th. On May 29th, I get a phone call about, hey, we have a 1-week-old infant who needs placement. Are you interested? And of course, anybody who's been following this quick little journey that I started for baby number 2 or 3 know that I'm looking to adopt. I'm willing to foster a child until they become ready for adoption, or I'm willing just to outright adopt a child that's already legally free from the foster care system. So when I asked the specifics about this child, oh baby, don't pull my wig. What I learned is that this child will most likely probably be a foster child, as I believe this is his family's first time going through the reunification process, having their children removed. There are 8 of them. 8. The oldest is 9. The youngest is 0. She had them back to back to back to back to back. So I'm anticipating he'll probably return home. We are 2 months in at this point. One parent is not participating at all. The other one has some room to grow, but I do believe that probably she'll get an additional 6 months perhaps. So this will probably be a year wait to see if this foster to adopt journey will end with him. And it's a hard, tricky spot to be in because, you know, of course, especially being a social worker and having a social worker brain, you want these children to be with their families and reunify. But from the caretaker perspective, I've had him his entire life. You know, he's going to be 2 months old in a couple of days, and I've had him, you know, 7 out of the 8 weeks. You grow attached and you love them, and you're like, oh, you get that guilty of like, I want you to stay forever. When the goal is reunification. So it's just for foster adoptive parents, it can be a little emotionally tricky. He's fussy because he's also colic, and that's been really difficult for me as a single parent to now too. He will cry from anywhere from 7 to 10 hours at a time, which is why there's a 2-month gap in me updating you guys on what's been going on. But we'll talk more about his colicky episodes later. But just know that the day after I got licensed, I got called about him. And if you also watch any of my other videos, then you know that I was looking for a black baby. You know, black children are the least adopted from the system. And I just wanted to bring in another child or another 2 children who look like me, who look like my son, who were least likely to find a forever home. And this baby here is not black. He is of Asian descent, and I had an eternal struggle initially about proceeding forward with, because then they came back and asked if I would consider adopting him, should he not be able to be returned to either of his parents. And my internal conflict was like, but we wanted a black baby. And I felt a little guilty about, well, you want to adopt and you're not going to adopt a black baby like we set out. And I think this is kind of similar to like a birth mom's birthing plan. Like you have this set idea of what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do my birthing, how my baby's going to come. And then it's totally changed, and then you're thrown for a loop. So maybe this is my adoption plan that's just going haywire because I was super set on a black child. And then I get an Asian baby placement, and I fall in love with this little guy and ask if he's unable to return, will I adopt him? And the answer is now yes. You know, it's not what I thought I wanted until I met him. So while I feel what am I trying to say? I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm like sleep deprived. I don't have on no makeup. The best I can do is put on a wig to spice up my life. What else? My brain, you guys, is gone. I know I'm like absent-headed most of the time. Also, I should tell you guys that, so I got him the day after my license was authorized. And that was a Friday that I got him. And by Monday or Tuesday that next week, I got a phone call that said, hey, we have a 5-year-old little girl who's legally free for adoption. Are you interested? And I declined on that one, and she was black. I declined because, you know, if you've gone through this process, you have this form that you complete that says what behaviors and or health concerns are you willing to accept and which are you not. She had a lot of boxes checked that was outside of my comfort zone. Both of her parents, biological parents, have developmental delays. She needs a test for delays as well. And not to say I'm judging her picture, but I'm low-key judge the picture, but sometimes you can look at children and see that there may be some sort of delay. Also, there were stated behavior concerns. They thought she would do best in a home where she's either the only child or the youngest child. You know, my son is younger than her, and anybody who's new here, I adopted a little boy, brought him home when he was 2. He's now 5. He's a few months younger than she is, so that doesn't work. And I then had that newborn baby, meaning this newborn baby. He's still new. So she would be the eldest child in the home, but she most likely was probably gonna come with what they were stating as concerning behaviors and maybe some sort of autism spectrum. And I don't feel as though I'm equipped to take that on at this time. Like, if one of my children were to become autistic over the course of time, of course I'm gonna love them, I'm gonna support them, I'm gonna do what I can to help with services, etc., and I'm gonna always be their mother. But I'm not at a point in life where I'm going to knowingly go in and choose a child who has significant medical and behavior issues. Especially being a single parent is not my ideal adoptive situation, which kind of reminds me of that one family that I keep seeing over YouTube who adopted the child from China who they knew had the medical issues, the autism, and then they returned him when it got too difficult. Oh my God. Jesus. I feel some type of way about that, but that's neither here nor there. I was thinking about doing a video just to talk about it because it made me feel some type of way. I don't know. You guys want to talk about it? If so, drop me a line down below and we can do it. But to get back on track, so yeah, my licensing process took about 6 weeks. The day after I got licensed, I got a call for him. He wasn't the black baby I was preparing for. And I have come, like I'm always telling my son, you don't have to be blood, you don't have to look alike to be family. And my son actually said to me when he came, he was like, that can't be my brother. He's not brown. I'm like, why? Because we don't look the same. We can be family and not look the same. So my heart is now totally open to just adopting whatever the Lord sees fit to bless our family with, because I think I was so set on like, oh, it has to be a black child. The Lord's gonna send us a black child. Okay, maybe he didn't. Or maybe I'm supposed to just love on him for the next couple months until he goes home. If that's the case, I'm gonna cry when he leaves, but I'm gonna love on him until then. If he becomes legally free for adoption, I'm gonna love on him forever, and nobody can tell me nothing else, because that's gonna be my babies. Also, what I did learn is that my particular foster family agency does interstate adoption, meaning that they'll support your process of trying to adopt children from other states. So I've been browsing like the databases of children around the Americas. And should he be returned to his biological family, I identified 2 sibling sets that I'm gonna make an inquiry about if they're still available, that I think would be a good match for me and my son. So if I start that process of adopting from a different state, I'm in California. So if I adopt from, I don't know if I'm looking at the camera or not. If I've been looking down like this the whole time, sorry guys, I thought I was looking at the camera. I'm not sure anymore. I'm not sure. But oh yeah, so if I ultimately end up adopting from a different state, or at least inquiring, I will let you guys know how that goes and what the process is like, because you know that will be new for me. As a social worker, I've done, you know, ICPCs, which is like the same thing, placement out of state, but it's different being on the other side of the spectrum. So I'll let you know how that goes if I end up down that route. Is there anything else I'd like to share? I think with it's been an adjustment going from 1 to 2, because he's colic. I think that's the biggest thing. He can cry his little butt off. And when he came to me, he had some ailments that I don't think helped. You know, his skin was so raw. he had bruises on his back and his hips. So if it's not clear already, he was removed for physical abuse along with these siblings, but he came to me with the worst diaper rash I have ever seen. His skin was raw and peeling from his neck to his groin. He had bruises on his back and his hips. He had cuts on the bottom of his feet. So I don't think that helped at all. And then in the process of, you know, trying to get him better and getting his little body put back together, I learned, like, he was just so tearful and just cried. And once his body is doing better, I'm like, okay, well, he's still crying. What is going on? And I started to think, is it me? Does he not like me? Like, what is it about me? Like, I can't get him together. And then that's when I learned at his basically wellness exam that he was colic. And I was like, oh, thank goodness, because I thought it was something I was doing wrong as a caregiver, as a parent. I've never had a newborn before, so this is the first time experience for me. And I'm learning a lot. And yeah, you can take care of kids doing your social work duties and in the church nursery, because I, you know, was the lead teacher in the church nursery. I work as a social worker. You can have all these children experience, but it's totally different when you get newborns in your house 24/7, and if they come with medical issues and if they come very tearful. So it's been an adjustment on that part, and making sure I still pour into and give quality time to Isaias. And then, you know, about a week or two after he came to my home, I get a call that says, hey, the 7 siblings, 3 of them may need a new placement. Are you interested? Fast forward a couple of weeks, because they were trying to put them with grandparents. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what's going to happen there. But I get a call today that said, hey, are you know how we asked you that question a little bit ago? Would you consider taking them today? And I said, yeah. It's my understanding that they're being transitioned to their grandparents' home, but for some reason the grandparents aren't really interested in the newborn. I don't quite know all the details, what's going on yet, but that's my current situation. So I'll have him and his 3 younger siblings. So it'll be newborn, 1, 3, 5, and then my 5-year-old. Pray for us. Pray for us. Yeah. But like I said, oh, I scared you. I'm sorry, honey bunny. But like I said, the 1, 3, and 5-year-old siblings are going to be transitioned with the 6, 7, and 9-year-old to the grandparents' home. So I think they'll probably only be here maybe but a short couple of weeks, unless something goes terribly wrong on their end, and then we'll talk. So that is it for now. I do have some other videos that I will start shooting, Lord willing, somebody cooperates with me this week, so that I can keep posting weekly, giving you guys updates. Like I said, if you guys want me to create like a Facebook group so we can kind of have a private group where we could talk and share photos and maybe network and all that stuff, let me know. I'll do so. And I was thinking about how can we share our resources from different counties and states, and about like child care and health insurance and all those things. So if that's something you guys want to maybe work on, let me know, and I'll get some wheels going and put some things together, so maybe we can have a hub for resources. Totally off the subject. No, it's not off the subject. It's related, because it's because of him. I know you guys probably can't tell, but I lost almost 20 pounds in the first 3 weeks that he was here. And I've been able to keep it all off, which makes me feel so much. I didn't realize how heavy I was. So I'm starting to feel really good, and I'm keeping the momentum where now I'm starting to eat healthier. And my goal is to lose another 30 pounds, maybe 40. But if I can lose another 30, If I could lose another 30, y'all ain't gonna know me, okay? But yeah, that's it for now. Leave me a comment down below if you guys want me to do any other stuff I mentioned before during the video. If you have any questions or concerns, if you recently got a placement and you just want to share the exciting news, congrats to you. Leave a comment down below and we shall chat and talk another day, another hour, because I've got to take advantage. He's sleeping. I was gonna say I need to sleep too, but his siblings are going to arrive any minute now, so I've got to go because I'm gonna be surrounded by a lot of kids in a minute. Like, share, subscribe, and we will check in with you guys in a few days, Lord willing. Bye.